All right, let's talk about prioritization. Now, it might seem like a boring topic, but this, for me, is up there. And I'll tell you why. Most of the people that come to me for coaching struggle with prioritization. And if you are a leader in the corporate world or you're building a business, often your success in business and in life is linked to how well you can prioritize. And when you've got absolutely tons of conflicting priorities, everybody seems to get it wrong, okay? So what I'm going to do is share a super simple method that I use personally and I use with my clients to make sure that you're making room for the stuff that counts. So let's talk through the agenda. I'm going to give you an introduction to the one thing, the high achievers approach. I'm going to give you some elite examples, what matters most, and then we're going to talk about taking action. Honestly, let me tell you, if you implement this properly, it will change your life. And the super cool thing about it is you don't just have to use it for the small stuff. For example, what am I going to do in the next hour to move things along? You can use it for the big picture thinking. And the question that I'm going to give you, the approach that I'm going to show you, can literally be used for everything. And before we start, I'll just share this with you. I've built businesses in the corporate world. And I'm building a business for myself, Virssius. And the conflicting priorities can often leave you in a state of unhappiness. You've either left tons on the table or you've got that much to do that you just feel stuck. You know, sleep can become affected. When you're relaxing with your loved ones, with your family, you're not really relaxing. And you take it everywhere with you. On holiday, you know, when you're with your friends, when you're with your partner, and it just becomes unbearable. So this is something that really did change my life, and I would like you to implement it because it's life-changing. Cool. So let's go through it. So what matters most? Motivated people can complete many tasks a day, but not necessarily what matters the most. And if you're really honest with yourself, you've probably done this before where you will have proper Gucci looking to-do list and you'll be knocking them off. But in the end, you really need to ask yourself, have you moved the needle in terms of where you want to go in your health, with your fitness, with your business? Sometimes the answer is no, if you're being really honest. So what happens if you don't do that? Results suffer and frustration follows. We've all heard the phrase, busy fool. You can become a busy fool by not doing this. Personal experience, as I've just said, juggling being an athlete, being a business owner, being a leader, and being a father, I have struggled with this, and it has bled over into sleep problems. It has bled over into not being able to relax and spend quality time with my partner, with my son, and it's actually stopped me from enjoying some of the things that I absolutely love. So let me tell you that this is life-changing. It really is, because if you can clear your head before you go to sleep, you know, you can have a better sleep. If you can clear your head before you settle down and spend some time with your partner, you're going to have, you know, a more meaningful relationship. So next up, the answer. So as you can probably guess by the title, you know, a shorter list is required. But how short? Is it 4? Is it 3? Is it 2? Okay, you're a capable person. I would imagine that you can handle many tasks. The answer's 1. Okay, one thing. Go small. What is the smallest thing that you could do this week that would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Okay, so you will have many tasks to do. You'll have home tasks. You'll have tasks that you need to do with the family. You'll have work tasks, okay? But within those spheres, you are going to have tasks that will really move forward your relationship, that will really move forward your fitness, and that will really move forward your work, okay? What just happened there? Okay, high achievers. Let's take a look at them. Same 24 hours in the day. So if we've all got 24 hours in the day, then why do some people manage to get so much more done, earn more, achieve more, and have more? Their approach, what they do is they make getting to the heart of things the heart of their approach. They go small and they don't let other things affect it, okay? They have a really narrow focus and they get that done. They know that not all things matter equally, okay? We know this, but we don't always concentrate on what matters the most. And sometimes it might just be that we're overloaded and we need to do a mindless task, okay? And you can just end up getting bogged down with that. There's an approach from Brian Tracy, you may have heard of the eat that frog, okay? It's about if you eat a frog at the beginning of the day, it'll be the worst thing that you've done and you'll just move everything along. It is the same thing. All the answers are there. We know what we need to do. Sometimes it's just bringing some awareness back into it and getting it done. They connect their actions to what they want and understand the importance of a narrow focus. And they don't fall for the propaganda. They don't believe that big success is time-consuming and complicated. Okay, sometimes we can get caught up in that. The fact that if we're going to go bigger, it's going to add more stress, more pressure. Okay, they don't overload the calendars and to-do lists, and they do not get lost trying to do too much. Let me give you some elite examples. Success leaves clues. Colonel Sanders, the chicken fella, started KFC with a single chicken recipe. Cause, they grew their business 1,500% from 1947 to 1967 with one product made in a single brewery. Intel, they make most of the money from microprocessors, one product. Starbucks, I think they make sandwiches or something. The big lies, mentioned before, high achievers, people sometimes fall for the propaganda of, I need more discipline. I'll get more done by doing more. And I have to have this balanced life, when really the secret is having a bit of an unbalanced life and then rebalancing it. Business rarely takes care of business. When everything feels urgent, everything feels equally as important. We've all been there where you come in and you've got a to-do list as long as your arm, and getting some temporary relief from taking some of that stuff off your calendar does work, but long term, okay, if you're not pushing things forward, you're almost just delaying the inevitable. That is not the case. Knocking out 100 tasks because you feel like you need to do them is no substitute for knocking out the one thing that's meaningful. And trust me when I say, if you get the one thing ticked off your list every single day, and I'm not just talking about fitness here, I'm talking about business, I'm talking about life events. If you get that one thing, that one meaningful thing off your list, believe me, you're going to feel incredible and you're going to free up so much space for other stuff. Cool. What matters most? How to focus on what matters the most. So it's easy. It's all good and well saying, you need to focus on one thing, but how do we do that? Answers come from questions. A quality answer comes from a quality question. Ask the wrong question, get the wrong answer, vice versa. The focusing question. So what is the one thing that I can do such that by doing it, everything else will become easier or unnecessary? And as I mentioned at the beginning of this, you can literally wake up. Let's say you've got an hour before you get to work or get some stuff done. You can ask yourself this question in that hour. You can also ask yourself this question when you want to think about what you want to do long term. So it works for the big picture questions and it works for the small stuff. How it works. Oh my God. It's almost like I wrote it. You're not able to only answer the big picture questions such as where am I going and what do I want to do, but you're also able to answer the smaller questions such as what do I need to do right now to move things forward. And if you're a founder, you're a leader, you're an entrepreneur, trust me, there is going to be so many times that you need to ask yourself this question, probably throughout the day. When to use it. So use it again, and use it again. Every time you use it, you'll see your next priority. Sometimes it'll be business, sometimes it'll be fitness, sometimes it will be family. But ask yourself that question and you cannot go wrong. The domino effect. The question encourages you to find the next domino, knock it over, and what you'll usually find is that behind it, there's a number of dominoes ready to fall over or that have already fallen over. Get the big thing out of the way, get the thing moving that we need to get moving, and trust me, everything else just seems easier, okay? And you'll find that you're on a roll. It's kind of like Christmas shopping, you know? I don't know about yourself, but I get frozen when I walk into a shop and I know that I've got 20 people to buy for, okay? As soon as you get the first thing in the basket, you're on an absolute roll. Cool. Taking action. Your personal life. So here's just some questions that I'm going to give you, okay? To help you understand the power of this, okay? And get you moving. So what is the one thing that I can do in the next 30 days to get in the physical shape that I want to get in? Personal life. Family life. What's the one thing that we can do this week to spend more quality family time together? Don't just win in one area. Don't look amazing. Don't build this fabulous business, but you're not spending any proper time with your loved ones. That's not success. Work life. What is the one thing that I can do every single day that will set me apart from my competitors? Watch that compound and then see where your business is. Your team. What's the one thing that I can do in the next 6 months to find and develop incredible talent? And remember, the secret is asking yourself a very big and focused question that leads you to a very small answer. That's it. That is really simple. This is one of the simplest videos that I've ever made. And, you know, there's so many books on prioritization and, you know, getting it right. It's people have made an extortionate amount of money on it, but it is that simple as the focusing question. And I started using this approach, to be totally honest, because my head was full before I went to bed, and then lo and behold, the 2 o'clocks, the 3:30s would creep in, and when that compounds over time, you know, it gets rough. You start asking yourself this question, you start getting stuff knocked off your priority list, you will find that you're just happier generally. You can be more present. I started enjoying coaching more, started enjoying building a business more, because I was clear, I was focused, I wasn't conflicted, and I wasn't pulled in a million and one directions, okay? Ask yourself the focusing question, and when you prioritize, you will free up the space for what matters the most. We covered an introduction to the one thing. We spoke about the high achievers approach. I gave you some elite examples. Spoke a little bit about what matters the most. Gave you some examples where you can apply the question. And then we spoke about taking action. Okay? If you've got any questions on this, please reach out and speak to me. If you're getting coached by me, either one-on-one or one-to-many, you will notice that I use this question a lot, okay? It's super simple, but super effective. Catch you in the next one.